Right guys, new format here, similar to my BBC Breakfast piss takes which will return. In this one though, I'll briefly talk about a few articles I've spotted this morning. It is a bit of a mixed bag, but it contains the usual shit weasels you would expect, so let's get straight into it. First up, we have his royal wokeness, the Prince of Soy, who it seems cannot escape the political dogma brainwashed into him by his lefty spunk trumpet. He has been bitching like a little girl on someone's podcast about his upbringing because being stinking rich must be terrible, I'm sure you would agree. Yes, I know he lost his mother, but many people suffer similar without the luxuries he has enjoyed. He also branded the First Amendment bonkers, which is the right to free speech over in America for those who don't know. I have to say this worthless bag of soy really does his best to turn people away from him, don't he? He went from wearing Nazi uniforms at parties to the woke wanker we see almost daily at this point, despite him apparently trying to avoid publicity, they said. Next up though, we have a Labour Union official, Howard Beckett, being suspended after calling for Priti Patel to be deported. Yeah, he actually said it, which is rather funny coming from a party that claims to love immigration, wants no borders and would ban deportations if they could. Of course, he's obviously forgetting the fact that pretty piss poor Patel can't deport criminals or illegal immigrants. You've got more hope of me becoming Prime Minister than you have the Tories deporting people, let alone one of their own. They are more likely to deport me at this point. Next up though, we have the NHS abandoning its stupid total triage policy that would have continued the limited face-to-face GP appointments we have seen over the past year. Collective outrage from all sides dropped that idea in literally less than 24 hours. The NHS though really needs to be taken to task for attempting to shirk its responsibilities to the public at this point. If they're not dancing around empty hospital wards for TikTok videos, they're trying to fob you off with a fucking phone call. Much like the government now, they're just taking the piss out of us. Next up though, we have Fraser Nelson calling for an inquiry into how the fuck Sage managed to force the UK into lockdown, which I can actually answer for him. They're all a bunch of commie cunts at Sage at the end of the day. It was always going to happen when Boris Johnson put his trust in those tosspots. But I do have to say I wouldn't want an inquiry into it. I actually want a criminal investigation into Sage and actually everything that has gone on over the past year. Inquiries, as we know, will be completely whitewashed like everyone before. We need independent criminal investigation with treason charges for anyone found to be lying or destroying evidence. Then, of course, treason charges for anyone found guilty of wrongdoing in a public office in relation to this, especially the damage that is done to this country. But now, moving on from that like a fart in the wind, we actually have BBC Question Time that featured the Labour Party getting absolutely shat on by the audience. It was Lisa Nandy this time taking a verbal bitch slapping for being the arrogant self-serving tosspot we know the entire Labour Party is at this point. They literally sit there talking about UK politics they have no idea about, living in their London bubble, and rightly got fucking hog roasted last night. But then again, when you go by election results over the past few years, is that actually a shock to anyone at this point? Next up though, we have this story here about women in the UK giving birth being forced to wear a face nappy during labour, despite NHS guidance actually forbidding it. This is yet another scandal taking place in our hospitals by NHS staff that people are hailing as fucking heroes. This clown country is an actual fucking joke at this point. These mothers should sue the NHS trusts who have done it to them, or the NHS staff directly if you ask me. Now, last but not least, we have this report here about COVID passport plans being scaled back with the merits of the scheme being called into question. Something we literally did from day fucking one. So if true, it seems the government is literally only a few months behind common sense at this point. Not exactly a good thing, but welcome to the clown country that we live in. Now obviously, this whole report here should be taken with a pinch of salt comparable to the amount found in the fucking Dead Sea. The media, like politicians, are a bunch of snivelling shitweasels lying through their back teeth almost all the time. As a matter of fact, it's getting beyond the joke at this point. But on that note there, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys like this format, because I might do it again in the future if you do. You'll have to let me know down in the comments section below. And as always, obviously, the links are down below to follow me elsewhere, so I'll catch you all in the next one.